Hello everyone, this is a new video to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be talking about my original character that I made myself, named Yokai. And basically, just to get this out of the way real quick, this story will be in two parts, and there will be a trigger warning for violence and possible language and possible of most likely alcohol usage and mostly everything. Alright. I will also be talking in I'll try to be talking in Yokai's voice as well. Alright. It started when I was a kid. Me and my twin was always locked up in one place, in our room, unaware of the outside problems and everything else. Though of course one thing's to be noted, our parents have always seemed quite worried and scared all the time every time we seen them. I guess I knew that it worried my dear brother, but, well, for me, I knew that there was something they were hiding. I just decided to keep it, or to ignore it entirely. Of course, as time went on, eventually our parents just disappeared entirely, before, well, never returning, obviously. And so, eventually I decided it would be best that we left, instead of just dying in place. So me and my brother left, and basically go off to find them. We noticed the house was destroyed, and everything was ripped apart, as if some type of creature of large claws had been there. Of course, I knew that something wasn't right. My dear brother was worried and scared, obviously, but I knew I was going to protect him no matter what. And so we left the house just to see the world in such decay. The world that we never knew was dying, if not already dead. There was no bright colors, just darkness. Everything was dead like said. Of course, my dear brother, was worried. As for me, I was too. Though I didn't show, of course. I decided to keep my tough act, to keep my brother less worried, of course. Eventually we explored the dead world, and eventually danger struck. And once the danger struck, that's when everything changed, of course. Everything we knew had faded, or well, faded throughout time itself. Through time, we realized something wasn't right. That is because, during this event, I activated my very own dark abilities that are too powerful for even me to handle. Definitely at such a young age I couldn't handle such power. That is why once my brother was attacked by a large entity, shadowy with glowing red eyes. Everything went black for me. I couldn't see anything. All I could hear was a cold, dark, mocking voice that said, "How pathetic. Do you really think that you can activate such powers without consequences? How pathetic." I heard such a voice. Of course I'd be lying if I said once I had awoken, Eventually I noticed that before me and my dear brother lied the corpse of the entity, covered in large scratches. My dear brother looked at me and worried. I, of course, looked down and worried myself. I couldn't understand what happened, but later on, after night had fallen, and me and my brother had, of course, made our own camp, figured we had to figure it out, of course, since there was no one to ever teach us about such a thing. Anyways, basically we created a camp, right? But once time had passed, I noticed a change, like said before. And me and my brother noticed a change within me. As I seemed more different, I noticed that I kept having blackouts. He noticed that well. He noticed that I seemed more colder and darker than usual, hunting ruthlessly, with no care for life at all, and with such power, as if I wasn't even normal anymore, as if I'd become some type of entity. Of course, I ignored my brother's worries and tried to cover it up, but I worried myself. So once I had that dream, it was it. That was it. Once I had the dream, I knew it. And that was it. The dream that changed everything. I was in a dark void when a mocking chuckle appeared and echoed, of course. I looked to see a tall, slender figure, long black hair, red glowing eyes, that was voidless of everything, and of course, wearing a black and white suit. He was pale white as well. He chuckled mockingly and, of course, mocked my naiveness. You really think that you could ever control such power? More like the power will control you, weak, naive, worthless child. The mocking voice said, and once I woken up, my brother seemed worried. But as time went on, or well, the very next day I left when my brother was asleep. After that, years passed by, and every single time I seen my dear brother, he always tried to help me return, when in reality, after such years I had fallen to my own dark powers. I had lost all humanity and became a true entity of darkness, of evil, and of death. Of course, after such time, the brother that had destroyed our world, our realm that we once resided in, wanted to destroy me because of my evilness. We became rivals. The only reason why I let the weakling live is because I see our rivalry to be quite entertaining and amusing as well. After living 2,000 years, you have to have amusement of some type. Of course, I reside in the human realm to toy with them, as I see humans nothing more than weak, worthless beings to toy with and to torment, until you're bored, and then devour them. Of course, I'm an entity, a full entity now. I'm power, basically the very representing of power. That is why I find it boring to just take anyone out. I have to toy with them first and amuse myself. before I eventually get bored of them. And then after that they're worthless to me. And when they're worthless, they are no longer needed to live. That's why that's why I play this fun little game with my dear brother. Where of course I find a target. And my twin brother Yuri, he has to find the target and save them. Of course I always win. Of course I always win. Though of course throughout my time I made my own enemies as well. Though of course there will be a part 2 to explain my enemies and our rivalries and everything. I find them quite enduring, though sometimes it's quite annoying as well. The most annoying ones are those that have learned my true power and how to defeat me. Sure, I may be an entity, of course, but the only way to defeat me is with my own daggers. Of course, a dagger created from my own realm. A dagger made out of such poison it could kill immortals. Mortals like me, of course. And that is why most don't even know, because the realm and the world I once resided in, that such poison is from, is destroyed. So how could anyone ever know of such a thing? That is why I'm so invincible. And that is why not even my enemies can defeat me. Alright, so this is the end of part 1. There might be a part 2 to explain more of the stories. And just so you know, this is basically just a story I made up. And it's not actually real. It's just a character I made up. And a story I made up surrounding the character. So, bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And then click the notification bell to be prepared for the next part. Bye.